This is a Fox News alert. Of course, Donald Trump pushing O.J. Simpson out of the headlines as this just breaking. The Republican frontrunner dropping out of CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee. Of course, the annual greeting most people know as the place where conservatives go to make their case every year in the nation's capital. Donald Trump has attended in past, but he has said he's not going to go this year. He was expected to speak tomorrow, instead opting to campaign in Kansas and Florida. The Conservative Political Action Committee just issued a statement saying, quote, they are very disappointed. They're also saying that this sends a clear message to conservatives. Let's bring it out to the couch. Tony Sayegh, the Conservative Political Action Committee, how big of a deal is this that he's not going?
It's a big deal because there was controversy leading up to today that Trump was actually the preference of this group. He'd given money to the ACU, which is the parent organization that puts on CPAC. There was this idea that there was a lot of the people who are involved with leadership there backing Trump privately. In fact, there was a rumor that Ben Carson was going to endorse Donald Trump today at CPAC. So this is obviously shocking. I'm sure the Donald's campaign has a reasonably good answer. But to talk about CPAC in this regard, it is still an important organization when discussing the conservative movement. We see Donald Trump bringing in this progressive center, you and I have talked about this, that has not been engaged in the Republican Party before. If he is the nominee, his mandate is going to be marrying these two organizations, these two groups in a way to rebuild the Republican Party, which clearly is fractured right now.
Is this a general election move to snub it? Because when I look at CPAC historically, and I've attended many times, you've attended, it's been a little controversial. Remember, they did not invite Chris Christie years ago. That was a scandal. Christie now with Donald Trump. They also did not invite the Log Cabin Republicans, the Republican Gay Organization that promotes gay rights. It's had a controversial past, but how much does this impact, say, a Donald Trump if he doesn't go? Does he need to go?
Well, that's a great question because he is bringing out the Reagan Democrats, right? And so would they be represented at CPAC? That's the question. And there's also an issue, too, whether or not the Marco Rubio campaign was saying, hey, wait a second, we don't want Donald Trump at CPAC at all. Have you heard that, Tony?
Well, look, clearly there has been a push by the opponents of Donald Trump that CPAC was somehow rigged in his favor. He'd given money, he'd gotten support. But I think something important to remember, and you bring up a good question, Andrea, about the conservative importance right now. The next round of primaries are all close primaries. So you can't have the independent voter come in and support Donald Trump. So this is going to be a real test of how much conservatives are going to actually hold him accountable for rebuking or at least dissing, for lack of a better expression, one of their groups.
All right.